Welcome back, Blues fans, to the free Blue Boys podcast. Thank you to our viewers and listeners for joining us again. Of course, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, like if you enjoyed today's video, and hit the bell notification button so you never miss a new upload. While you're at it, why not follow us on our social media platforms, links to which are on the screen for you now and down in the description below. Gentlemen, good to be back. I feel well rested other than my return to work today, first day back, but otherwise, how are we both feeling?
Yep, we're pale and cold, as we have been, unlike...
Well, I'm not particularly tanned. Obviously, I'm not exactly Rico Iglesias over here, but
no, not really.
As a former colleague of mine once said to me when I'd been abroad somewhere and hadn't partaken in the sun, he said, "Where have you been? Fucking real." So I think that probably applies to you as well, Dan, to be honest. Yeah.
It does rather. I'm not really prone to tanning, really. I don't spend an awful lot of time. A little bit. It's actually, it's covered up anyway, but it's mostly on my arms and the back of my neck, really. Yeah. But it was a good breakaway anyway, time in the sun, and, didn't miss out on an upload, but otherwise enjoyable.
Yeah, well, I think if we start blowing shit again, you need to go away for another week so we can start.
Can we start scoring again? Yeah, so we can pick up a 2-0 win away.
Some weird omens here. We got this, and then we got you with the magic of the. I think one of our viewers said in the comments of I think it was a post match from the game on Saturday. He said that you definitely said 2-0 off camera. There's not a shot.
It's bad, isn't it, that people are starting to believe that it actually is happening elsewhere now.
Yeah,
it's a bit of a weird cult thing. So guys, can we just cut that? Really, I do get it wrong sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes
off camera will get it right. It's fine. But yeah, obviously it's been a good time for Blues, hasn't it? I think obviously the videos that we've done recent, over the last 4 or 5 games really, obviously been more positive, and particularly away, obviously getting the 2-0 victory away on Saturday. So we're starting to build some momentum, and I've said this in the post-match before, and you've mentioned it as well, Dan, and that's exactly what we're building. And obviously now we've got some strength, hopefully, and they've looked good so far with the with the signings that we've made. So hopefully we can build on that and obviously push onto Saturday's game against Leicester back at St Andrews.
Absolutely. When the Oxford game was kicking off, I was just getting back on the flight to come back to the UK from Gran Canaria. So obviously I went on to flight mode, didn't know the score came off, instantly got, I was like, get in, come on, 2-0, solid win away, solid performance from what I could see, and immediately went to the post-match reaction upload from you and Dad. So, and it was reflective, obviously, as our viewers and listeners know, because of the flight, I wasn't able to watch the game or monitor it in any way, unlike the previous week against Stoke City, where I was able to at least monitor that on the coach on the way to the hotel after coming away from the airport. But no, and funny enough, you mentioned their subs and signings, Joe. One of them coincidentally was a sub coming off the bench. Carlos Vicente set up the goal really well. It was a really nice worked goal. You feel like in the time that he's had to sort of gel with the squad, as it were, it's good that he's coming in there with that kind of intuition and that sort of creativity. Well, to be able to give him space, as it were.
I mean, like you say, he was vital to that. Obviously, he got the assist there, but we were saying what we did when we watched it and then watched it back. The goal itself is probably one of the best this season that we've ever done, because Kai Wagner, obviously being someone we bought in, wins it on the left-hand side. He crosses it in. August Prisk, isn't it, Dad?
Yeah, that's the one.
August Priska. On the turn, that's it, yeah. I always get the pronunciation wrong. But so he's involved as well. And as you say, Dan, Carlos Vicente lays off Dutch. So it was like you had 3 new signings all partaking into the goal that we created there. And it was one of our best, I think.
I think so. And it was even better that you only sort of like dream of those opportunities as a striker, certainly in Dutch's case, that you can virtually just pass it into the net because of how much has opened up, because the layoff has, you've parted the 2 centre-backs, and it's just a simple pass because you've already brought the goalkeeper over to one side of the goal, as it were. So, no, it was good to see. It was good performance. Impressed with the new signings as well. We seem to gel really well as a team as well. Okay, I know we're playing the team in the relegation zone in Oxford United, haven't had a particularly good time of it this season, but you've got to remember they've turned out some decent results recently against some decent teams as well. Yeah. And it's a results-driven business, as we've talked about before, and it's now about not only the results we're getting, but it's keeping that momentum on the road. It's not losing. It's picking up the point where we can, pick it up with the win, ideally. And I think we can go into this weekend's fixture against Leicester City, we've seen us return at home at St Andrews Knighthead Park, and of course all 3 of us will be back for that game as well, with no fear. And I think that follows on into the fixture on the Tuesday, following the Leicester game against West Bromwich Albion, also at home as well. And it's all building now, and I think we're really starting to hit the ground running as a team now. The new signings are gelling in well with the team. There's a lot of cohesion. We're looking confident as well in the way that we're playing and moving the ball forward. We're creating opportunities that otherwise maybe we wouldn't have done before as well. And it just seems all to be, the pieces are starting to come together now. Be it all later than we probably would have wanted this season, but it is starting to click at last.
I think it was important that the away games, the last two, because it was almost like last chance saloon to show that we're actually able to win away. You know, you look at the fixture list, you see you play in there, and you think, if we can't make it count against those two teams in the bottom two positions, it isn't going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, we really have got an away malaise. You know, we really cannot do it against anybody, irrespective of who they are. So it was important. It was a big test. Now, the other test, I think now, is clearly we've got better equipped teams coming to us at home now. You know, we've played a lot of the lower teams at home up till Christmas time. And now we've got some of the better ones. So Stoke last time, they were depleted, but they still put up a great performance. You can't underestimate Leicester or Albion. You know, they've got a lot of experience in their squads, you know, and there's still churn going on today with the transfer window as we speak. It's about to shut in, less than an hour's time at the moment.
Less than an hour now.
And Middlesbrough to come as well, who are absolutely flying at the minute. So this business about the home form being a given, we've got to make that stick now. Now, I'm confident that will be the case because of the signings. I think that's the thing that makes me think, you know, we're going to be able to maintain that, because all these successes away don't mean anything if the home form flips. Now, we've drawn, 4 out of the last 5 at home?
I was just going to say that, there's too many draws, as you say, Dad, and, you know, you on paper you'd look at it and say we should probably be picking up points away, which obviously we are now. But, I mean, despite the fact that, you know, on paper, Leicester and Albion are going to be tough sides at home, and they're not going to be easy games because there's no easy games in this league. No. For me, they're 2 games where we've got to be picking up maximum points, particularly because we've been drawing way too many games at home. And obviously, at the state that those two are in at the minute in terms of their form, you know, obviously I'd half expect that, you know, we're going to do the business there. But, as you say, and, you know, they're still, on paper, 2 very tough teams to play against. I mean, as Dan says, you know, it is momentum. That the signings are, you know, in and amongst us now, and hopefully they're going to get some game time and we can get behind them. Obviously, as you mentioned, our transfer window ending in less than an hour, which obviously we'll touch on. But the general feeling is good, isn't it, at the minute? After a bit of a tumultuous period where, you know, there was lots of questions about the manager, obviously the potential, you know, the players that we got, and obviously we had a lot of injuries, still do. Hopefully they're going to start coming back. But it's a good feeling again. And, you know, momentum is the word. Now we can take it back home. 3 home games in a row, if you include the FA Cup, where we can really start to build on that.
Yeah, I agree. Dan, you called the right word when you said momentum a few podcasts back. That was the key word. And, you know, during that period since we talked about it after the Watford game, I think that's what's picked up. It's been slowly done. You know, these things aren't kind of, you know, revolutionary. You know, they're evolutionary, if you want to kind of, you know, make that comparison, just a little bit by bit. And now we've got, you know, a sprinkling of new talent, that kind of insurging of energy, if you like, you know. Hopefully that's going to be the thing that kind of pushes us forward and keeps us going. But yeah. So you come back at a good time, Dan?
Yep.
Absolutely. It's a bit of momentum time now, and it's kind of the time of the season, the crunch time of the season. And ironically enough, it was this time last year when we League One where we really started to kick down and we started to push on towards our greater ambition. Obviously, the objective changes somewhat this season in respect to how we are looking at it realistically. I think most Blues fans amongst us 3 and a wider Blue universe probably would as well, that we're looking more of consolidating now, looking at stability, trying to finish, maybe break off to the top half of the table. I know there's been some talk about us breaking into the playoffs, but I think we need to stay grounded and stay realistic, still be ambitious and want to win every game and play to win every game and play to our strengths to the best of our ability, as you'd expect us to with the new signings now. And as I mentioned before, with the way that we're moving the ball forward now, creating better opportunities for ourselves and being more positive in our play, I think that just needs to continue. And as I say, it's the momentum now. If you'd like to sponsor the Free Blue Boys podcast, you can get in touch via our social media platform or via our email address. Thanks very much. Now back to the podcast. And we need to keep that, like you say, Dad, against Leicester and Albion, teams that, despite their poor run of form lately, and particularly in Albion's case, but in Leicester as well, they've got skillful players in the team. They'd like to play possession-based football. I think they're 8th in the statistics for the possession-based football in the division as well. So 8th highest placed team for possession in the division. They've won, I believe 10, drawn 8 and lost 12 this season. They've placed 16th, so 3 places below us at the moment. They had quite a good start to the season, but they've just dropped off since then. I think maybe injuries have played a part a little bit in that as well. I think it's been a change of manager as well recently. Obviously, Leicester have greater expectations for their team, considering what they've spent on the team, the type of calibre of player they've got in the team, despite coming down from the Championship as well. from the Premier League, should I say, into the Championship off the back of the previous season. But I think we just need to be not only respectful of the opposition, we just need to be aware. I mean, I don't underestimate that Chris Davis will plan for that going forward into the game, but we need to keep that momentum now. We need to not let it slide now. I think we've worked too hard recently for that to happen.
They're having a tough season. They're having a bad season overall. We definitely said if we're doing any predictions before August, we would have probably all said they're going to be automatics or around that spot.
Yeah.
You definitely predict that.
Definitely.
But yeah, they're having a poor season, as you say, Dan. You mentioned injuries there. The one that's been the ticking clock for them, particularly, most of this season really, has been Jordan James. He's got 9 goals and 3 assists. Every time I watch them play, I do like watching them play because I think he's the kind of player that...
He's instrumental in how they play.
I mean, obviously he was at Blues and he's the kind of player I thought we should have tried to bid to get. Obviously we sold him out to Rennes, didn't we? But he's obviously, I think he's on loan, isn't he, at Leicester at the minute?
Yeah.
They'll be looking to make him on a permanent when he does return to action. But he's the main, obviously, sort of force there with them. But he's going to be out for a little while longer. Other than him, Fatawu as well. I think he's got the most goals perhaps for them this season.
No, I think he's got the most goal involvements if you add the two things together. Yeah.
Well, that's him being, if anything, actually the number one danger man. Obviously Jordan James is out, but Fatawu as well, obviously caused trouble every single time we played him. So he's in there. And as you say, Dan, possession based side. As far as their weaknesses, and it's kind of funny because we're probably the team that, the way that we are, and we like to keep the ball. The likes of Wrexham and your teams that want to whip crosses in and be physical, they're the teams that on paper would probably take points from them. We like to keep the ball, wear teams down, particularly because we're at home. It almost doesn't suit us. But we're a bit like Jekyll and Hyde, I think, with set pieces because that's where they're weak.
Yeah.
Can we exploit them there? And, like I say, some games we're excellent at it and other games are absolutely dog shit. So I don't know what we're going to get on the day, but those are the areas we can exploit them. And obviously we've got additions with John Solis. Obviously Phil Neuman's having a good run of games. Chris Clara, August Prisk. We've got the height in there. Can we hurt them that way?
Yeah, I think their confidence is fragile. I mean, one of the other things that they're not particularly good at is holding on to kind of leads or commanding positions. To me, Leicester are in this very long and deep arc of descent. Right, they've been on it for a long time now, since the start of last season. And I think I saw a stat the other day that said that they've only won something like 16 out of the last 70 odd games. I
mean, a lot of that was in the Premier League.
Absolutely
terrible.
But as Dan just mentioned, they've only won 10 this season.
Yeah, it's bad.
We're 2/3 of the way through it now. You certainly wouldn't expect them to be in the position they're in at the moment. And the last 2 results, losing at home to Oxford and Charlton. Now, I don't underestimate, certainly Charlton, because of the way that they've kind of set themselves up. Nathan Jones knows what to do, Big Lyndon's there, etc.
Big Lyndon,
and he scored a good goal, actually.
He did actually,
yeah.
Really good start at Charlton.
He has, yeah. But, with all due respect to those sides, you would expect somebody with Leicester's expenditure and skill base to be able to get at least a point against them. They walked away with none. I mean, when you look at that, and that tells me that if you take an early lead against a team like that with a 28,000 crowd behind you, you're going to probably maintain that because they're just low on confidence. They've lost some players. There was a player that was sent off, I think the centre half on Saturday, so he won't be playing against us. I think Chowdhury's injured.
Yep.
He's another important player. He's been playing at right back quite a bit, but he's also been defensive midfield. Obviously, Jordan James is out. There's 1 or 2 others, I think, that are injured as well. Now, they are looking to recruit. In fact, I think they have bought in a midfielder today from Southampton. I think.
It's Aribo.
That's it, Joe Aribo's come in, And I know that Jamal Lassalle, we were rumoured to be after, he's supposed to be kind of joining Leicester. And there's also, I think, one of the youths from Manchester City, who's another midfield player coming in.
Right.
So they are looking to strengthen. They realise that they've got a problem, but their other problem, I suspect, is financially. That they can't afford to abuse PSR anymore. No. They've got a potential points reduction incoming, which might, if it's applied this season, it might relegate them. It could be the saviour of teams like Blackburn, etc. Because Leicester are going to take up that last position because of that points deduction. So they can't afford to step over that because they could find themselves in League One next season and have another fucking points deduction because they've overspent again. Yeah. So they've got to be careful.
I mean, that'd be crazy, wouldn't it? Leicester in League One. I mean, you could probably tell me that if they were last in it. Not to say you're completely ancient or anything, but
I am completely ancient though. Yeah.
There'll be someone in the comments now on this video going, "Oh, don't worry, and me as well."
Yeah, they'll just say I'm older. What does that make me?
Yeah. There is a bit of that, yeah. But yeah, I say, Leicester, could be really in trouble with that, and financially it just makes things 10 times worse. Obviously, there's a few teams in the league where, obviously Watford being one, having to get rid of all their players, and they're in a bit of a mess. And it's funny because they're in contention to be in the playoffs, and obviously Leicester would hope that's where they're going to be, and obviously they're looking for these transfers to help strengthen their position. But for me, on paper, it's a game that we should definitely be taking to them, playing our way. We're full of confidence, momentum, as you say, Dan. We don't just get you a jumper now that just says momentum.
Yeah.
That's just, that's, yours is momentum.
I don't think that's actually a bad branding idea, actually. I could see TW getting on board with that, actually, to be fair. Momentum, man.
Yeah.
The Three Blue Boys podcast, sponsored by Momentum.
Yeah.
Well, there is a political movement called Momentum, I think, so we have to be a bit careful.
Okay, a little bit careful about that then. Yeah. How's it going, fellow Blues fans? Hope you're enjoying the channel so far and liking today's video. I wanted to take a minute of your time to talk about our sponsor, Bangla Lounge Indian Cuisine. For these three Blue Boys, Bangla Lounge has been the go-to choice to enjoy the very finest in Indian cuisine for over a decade now. Made with the freshest ingredients using authentic recipes, Bangla Lounge produces some of the best Indian cuisine that I've ever tasted. And if you enjoy takeaway at the end of the week, orders for collection and delivery with 15% discount, ordering direct through the website. If you enjoy a sit-down meal, you can enjoy this for a 2-for-1 offer, running up for Sunday to Thursday every week on main courses. Or if you're celebrating a special occasion, such as a birthday, Bangla Lounge offers a buffet restaurant every Sunday, running from 5:30pm to 10pm. So if you like a tasty curry or a sizzling tandoori, get yourself down to Bangla Lounge Hell's Owen. Links in the description below of our video. And if you would like to fine dine after a win in the B9, thanks very much. Now back to the podcast. But talk of momentum, as we have a few times so far on this episode, going into the Leicester game, obviously barring any more sort of last-minute transfer deals, of course, less than an hour left, as you mentioned before, Dad. What do we think our starting 11 will be? Not necessarily what you want it to be, but what you think it will be based on what we've got available as it stands.
Well, I think I don't feel it will differ too much from what we were playing on Saturday.
I'd agree with you.
Away at Oxford. So, because I don't really think we've got like an away 11 and a home 11. There's a chance that might be different. Maybe John Solis is like, yep, you're in, but you're only playing away. I don't think that should be the case. No. So I think, to be honest, I'd suspect it's probably going to be the exact same as it was on Saturday. So you've got the normal back five, Tomo, Neumann, Clara, Wagner, obviously Beadle behind them. I think the two. I do think he'll continue with John Solis. He's, based on his performance against Oxford, he's undeniable, I think, for that game. I know Chris Davis might think, we're at home, do we want to play the ball a bit more and be a little bit more on the age of the 18. He might put Doyle in there, I don't know. So I think John Solis and Paik will be in there. Wide right, I think he'll stick with Paddy Roberts. I think Carlos Vicente is still bedding in. Marvin Duksh, undeniable at the minute. What has he got, like 5 in 6 or something like that?
Yeah.
So he's absolutely on fire.
Very good form for Dutch at the moment.
Oh, exactly. I mean, he's number 10 and yet he's bagging the goals at the minute. I mean, we're not going to complain, are we? And then wide left, I think once again he'll go with Ibrahim Osman. Obviously had a fantastic outing against Oxford. And then I think it'll be Jay back in the 9 again. I don't think he'll start August Prisk just yet because, again, he's already said, didn't he, when he signed, that he's still, basically had a whole break and he's kind of having his pre-season now. So I don't think he'll be put straight in there.
Yeah.
So for me, same 11.
Yeah, I'll go with that. I think it will be the same. I think for continuity reasons, you're going to try and keep that kind of understanding going on. The different partnerships around the pitch, you want that to be the same as well.
Yeah.
I guess what it does do is it gives us what the Oxford game gave us, is to have all those options on the bench. Some of the players that we've been rumoured to be looking at the moment, which we'll get to in a sec, I guess, they may be part of that bench, to strengthen it further. Which would be great because that's what you need when the game is in the balance, or you think that you need to kind of get that second goal. You can bring on options like that, and that's what's going to make the difference, I think. So yeah, I think I'm inclined to agree with you, Joe. I think it's going to be the same setup. What do you reckon, Dan?
I think so as well. I think the only other thing, and I might throw this in a bit of a curveball, but I do can see what you say, Joe, about Carlos Vicente. He may not be quite there yet, and I think that's definitely the case with August Priska, if I pronounce that right there, Dad.
Indeed you have.
I did, very good. That they might potentially put him on the right side, but then take Paddy Roberts on over onto the left and invert him. from the left.
It's very possible.
Potentially.
That, yeah.
But I could see why you'd maybe want Osman. He's a bit more natural over to the left than what you would have Paddy Roberts inverted. And to be fair, Roberts is very good on the right side, and he's proven that multiple times this season. And it would still give a bit of a chance for Sente to bed in a little bit and sort of get into with the momentum of the team. Yeah. I don't think the pace of the division is going to be a problem for him. I think because he's standard of La Liga anyway, I think he's going to be okay with that. He'll get used to the physicality in time as well, and a player of his standard, I wouldn't think that'd be an issue either. Yeah. But I think by and large, I'd agree with you both. I think for continuity purposes, like you say, Dad, stay with the same 11. Don't fix what's not broke. And hopefully it'll turn out a good result for us, but you've always got options to change it should you need to.
Well, because we're on the subject of the 11, obviously you mentioned there, with today being deadline day, obviously you guys will see this on probably the Thursday or Friday. But obviously, just because we're touching on the wingers there, obviously we're in the last 2 hours, there's been rumours of Blues been interested in. Let's pronounce this correctly, because it's Wilfried. It's like it's spelt out, but I think it's just Wilfred.
I think they just call him Willie, don't they?
I think so. Yeah, he's a winger from Leeds United, isn't he?
Yeah, that's it. So it was funny actually. You just said that because we've had. I've just seen someone tweet as soon as the interest was shown online, said one Willie out and another Willie in.
Yeah, that's true. Actually,
which is pretty much exactly what could happen. So.
You guys could make out of that what you want to, really, like, you know.
Absolutely. Have fun with the comment section of that one, lads.
That could be a bit of a short, I think, from this, really, couldn't it?
Yeah.
We'll see. Willie Nonto is who you mean, anyway.
Yes,
isn't
Willie Nonto. Yeah.
Willie Nonto. Yeah. Great second name as well. I mean that seems quite a long shot. Does that then ask questions? It'll definitely ask questions about Scott Wright, who's rumoured to be moving on anyway on loan. But does it also ask questions about Kyogo?
Yeah, well, we've talked about this, haven't we? Obviously, we've got Priskin now, so it's like we've kind of got a bit of a built-up, area of strikers now, and he's probably the last choice on the basis that obviously he's. I mean, it's funny because obviously before Prisk joined, he started to look like he was putting some goals together, but he's the last choice, and behind the fact that obviously Chris Davis gives him 15 minutes every other game, but now we've got another striker in. Yeah. Is he going to be looking to go?
It's not really going to happen, is it? Well, I wouldn't think it would. And Celtic have shown a lot of interest in bringing him back. Yeah. Which, like you say, Joe, being as though he is essentially the last choice striker now, is that something Blues are going to take him up on?
I mean, the player,
I'd imagine it'd probably be a loan move. I can't see him moving in permanent back because you'd essentially be making a loss, wouldn't you?
I mean, the player's expressed interest in staying and making it work, but how's he going to make that work if he's
not going to be given any game time?
Yeah, if you want to be playing at his age as well, he's just turned 31. He wants game time, so maybe he's not going to get it at Blues at the minute.
Maybe not. Well, only time will tell with that. And I think we've got some interest in a left-sided centre-back as well, haven't we, as well?
Yes,
I think you've heard a bit on this as well, Dad, haven't you?
Yeah, Jonathan Panzo. Yeah. So that's been rumoured for quite a few days now. I was a bit disappointed back end of last week and after the Oxford game where people seem to be saying, it's a maybe, but we're not sure about we're going to get anybody in. And this suddenly emerged then, which was great. Now, he has got quite a low number of appearances with somebody of his age, mid-20s. But when he's fit and he's been available to the teams he's played for in this country, it's been predominantly at championship level, especially with Cov in the season that they got to the playoff final and lost in that. He played a lot of games that season. I think he's also been at one or two others in the same division as I think Cardiff at some point as well.
Cardiff has been there,
but from what I can gather, he's big, strong, got a bit of pace about him, he's got that kind of experience. The team he's playing for at the moment in Portugal, a lot of their fans seem to rate him as their best player. Oh. And, that's playing at the top level in Portugal, which I know is different from the Championship, but he's in good form is what it's saying, I guess.
Yeah,
it is.
So whether that happens or not, I don't know. I always saw that as the most critical transfer,
I would agree.
At the back end of this window, because we've done a lot of great business up front, which is really good. You're not panicking. So let's see if that happens. But if it does, that certainly strengthens CD's hand a lot.
Well, the only other one to mention, obviously you guys will know this. We know this happened earlier today with it being a Monday. Postman Paddy Roberts, he's going to continue to make the deliveries, hopefully, in the starting 11. Because he's been an absolute asset to us, hasn't he? When we've
fantastic
we've had
player,
him on loan this
really
season
good this season.
It was only probably really a matter of time because the player wanted it to happen to get him on a permanent. I'm very happy we've managed to do it.
Absolutely. As Sunderland fans referred to him, as he posted on Instagram, thanking the Sunderland fans for his time there as well. He's been referred to as the mini Messi.
Yeah.
And in some ways he does replicate that attributes in his own play and the way that he plays for us. He holds up the ball better than any winger I've seen at this level. Possibly some quality balls into the box, and also inverts a lot of passes as well. And particularly
Scored a few
saw that.
goals too.
Well, exactly. Tops it up with a few goals
Yeah.
as well, and some important goals as well throughout the season. I would hasten to add as well. But I was really keen to get him on a permanent. I'm so pleased we've got it over the line. It was for an undisclosed fee. But I'm hearing as much as rumours around the sort of the 6-7 million mark, which
Really?
yeah,
I'd be surprised at that.
I'd be
I
surprised.
would be, but they are just that. They're rumours. I would have expected less than that as well.
I would have said 2. max.
Yeah, I said 2 max as
Yeah.
well. Yeah, somebody's probably floating something there, Dan, that they shouldn't be. I think that's
Probably not.
over
No,
the top.
I thought I'd float that one out there. I thought that would raise a couple of eyebrows, but
Indeed.
it's good to get him over the line anyway. And
Yeah.
he's going to be a good addition not only for the remainder of this season, but going into next season as well. He's
Yeah,
going to be an
big time.
important player, and he's proven at this level as well that he can bring teams out of the division as well,
Yeah.
and maybe even do a job there beyond. But either way, without looking too far forward, it's good to have Paddy Robertson on a permanent anyway.
Well, on the back of the, just going back to the Leicester game, obviously we've gone through the starting 11, or not, because we all predict that it's probably going to be the same. Obviously gone through a little bit of the signings there. If we make any and get over the line, obviously it could chop and change. They might be in the lineup for Saturday, who knows, or obviously the Tuesday game against Albion. But score predictions against the Foxes on Saturday.
I'm going to go for 2-1 to Blues.
Dan?
I think.
I'm going to echo you as well, Dad. There, 2-1 Blues.
I'm going 3-0 Blues.
Ooh, blimey.
Ambitious scoreline there.
Very confident.
I could see why you would say that, but I still think with the threats that Leicester do possess, and they're going to be looking to bounce back, as it were. Poor run of form, like you say, Dad, losing out to Charlton and most recently Oxford at home as well. They're going to be looking to step it up again. So, but I do foresee a Blues win for Saturday against Leicester City.
Mystic Andy,
Yeah.
who scores for Blues?
You what, sorry?
Who scores for Blues?
Oh, okay. So I think Stano's going to get one, actually.
Okay.
And I'm,
It'd be nice to see him get
I'd be
one.
really pleased if that was the case. But I've just got an idea that this, with the players around him now, some of the others that are coming in, I think they're going to create more opportunities for him, and the kind of the links, the mental links between the players in terms of looking for people's runs and understanding how they play. I think he will get one. I think the other one will come from Pake, actually.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then what we'll do is we'll just cut the camera. We'll do the next score prediction,
yeah.
and then if that one doesn't work, we can just
just put it in. Yeah.
Anyway, welcome back, viewers.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully we're all correct, and we can get the 3 points.
Indeed. Yeah.
You're going to end up being like Biff, Dad, with the sports almanac.
I am. Yeah.
Maybe that's what's happening.
I don't know, just
Maybe that is what's happening.
Sticking at my pocket.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Just before I go to the outro, and something I wanted to pick off the back of one of our viewers, Darren, you mentioned that I maybe should be bringing back a stick of rock for Dad and Joe. Well, where I went to Gran Canaria, if those of you that picked up my video following the back of the Stoke City game at the weekend, rock isn't awfully popular in places like Gran Canaria, in the Canaries, or even in Spain in general. But what I do have, gentlemen, as a holiday novelty gift, I bestow upon you both a fridge magnet.
Excellent. Thank you, sir.
Ooh.
Wait,
Lovely.
they're both different. So which
But they're
one is
both
mine?
different, but they both do bear the name of the island I stayed on, Gran
So
Canaria.
do you
Very
want
good.
do you want the seafront one, Dad, or do you want the
I don't mind. Show them both to the camera.
the
Joe.
Amish couple one?
Yeah. That stands.
What do we think, folks?
beloved
Let us know in the
holiday
comment
gift.
section.
Is that an appropriate gift for
Yeah.
the other two blue boys? Maybe we should have a poll on it, really. You
Yeah,
know?
Dad, you
Yeah,
can have
maybe
the
we
sky,
should.
You can have the sky blue one.
I can have
Do you
the
think
Sky.
maybe I should have stepped it
thank
up more?
you. That's my Coventry one. You've got the blues one. Thanks,
very
Dan.
nice. Thank you very much, sir.
Appreciate that. I shall add it to
Welcome.
the others
Put it
that we
here.
have.
Feel good about that. And Blues fans, in the comments section, let us know, how do you feel about the potential transfer window signings? Who do we think we're going to get in? Do we see any more departing? And also let us know what you think your starting 11 will be for the Leicester City game at this weekend. And do you think any of the new additions potentially might feature more in the starting 11? And of course, let us know your score predictions. Gentlemen, thank you for your contributions again. It
you,
has
Dan.
been
Good to have you back.
an enjoyable
Welcome back,
return.
yes.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
And Blues fans, if you've enjoyed the video today, please drop it a like. Subscribe, of course, if you are new to the channel. And we also upload not only weekly podcast episodes, but also post-match reactions following fixtures as well. Hit the bell notification button so you never miss a new upload from the Free Blue Boys. And also consider following us on our social media platforms, links to which are on the screen for you now and down in the description below. But until next time, fellow Blues fans, stay true to the Royal Blue and keep right on.
Keep right on.
Keep right on.